What are you doing?
I'm trying to understand stress, Berkeley.
Stress is psychological done.
For me, it is physical.
Stress is a common word. We hear it several times a day. Sometimes it's work that causes stress, at others it is relationships. We call it tension, we justify it, ये तो सबको होता है. We also think we understand it, but mostly we are certain that we don't want it. Hi, I am Dr. Jyoti Kapoor and we are at Manasthali, where mind meets matter, trying to unravel the history and mystery of stress. The word stress is used in physics to refer to interaction between a force and the resistance to counter the force. And it was Hans Selye who first incorporated this term into the medical lexicon to describe the non-specific response of the body to any demand made. In his second year at medical school at Prague, Selye recognized the often ignored similar symptoms in people with very different illnesses, like looking tired, having no appetite, losing weight, having low mood and lack of interest, and he called that syndrome of just being sick. Later, after years of research, the concept of general adaptation syndrome became the basis of understanding the psychophysiology response to stressful events. In day-to-day life, any demand made upon us to adjust or adapt leads to a physiological stress response. To some extent, these are necessary for the process of life itself. But what happens when you are getting late to work and your coffee is spilled on your clothes, or you get stuck in traffic? You probably feel one of these symptoms. There's increase in muscle tension in the body, there can be some tremor or trembling, heart starts beating faster, breathing becomes shallower or faster, and there is feeling of discomfort in chest or stomach. You will also have some emotional reactions like anger, frustration, fear, anxiety, panic. This is the first stage of gas, the stage of alarm. While everyday hassles like traffic jams, deadlines at work, conflicts with mother-in-law, etc. cause acute stress responses, over a period of time, the mere anticipation of these events puts in a chronic stress state, where the body and mind are constantly trying to prepare to deal with what may happen. No wonder then that our cup of stress keeps getting filled, and if there is no way of holding off the jug pouring it, sooner or later it spills over. I have often given this example to many clients in my OPD, and even though at a certain level we all know it, we just take it for granted. The modern world has in no manner made it easier for us. We want to have everything, incorporate everything in our schedule, from work to exercise to doing cool things and even clicking selfies and posting them on our social media handles and then awaiting responses. Now there are too many jugs pouring in our single cup, and here our cup's getting smaller and it's spilling all over. Many times people think that stress is only a psychological thing and any physical symptom needs separate tests and management. Today we know that lifestyle diseases like blood pressure, obesity, diabetes, hormonal imbalances are all associated with stress. But what are we doing about it? Instead of dealing with the root cause of the problem, we are just focusing on the consequence. What's ironical is that people are more afraid of taking medicines for stress than taking alcohol or smoking to relieve it. Let me take a minute to show you what's happening physiologically when an event that we call stressful presents itself. Now, if I ask this man to sit down and relax and enjoy the scene in the jungle again, would he be able to do that? And that is what is happening at home, at work, in social settings. When you are anticipating an attack, how can you enjoy the moment? So what do? Now, this is again something that I have realized after 2 decades of practice. Stress is not an event. It is a reaction. And how we respond to it basically defines how it affects us. You may say it's easier said than done, but then if it was that simple, why would you need me? What causes negative reactions is the anticipation that something will go wrong. It's the threat that makes us defense mechanism to get into a survival mode. And frankly, our defense mechanism is still quite primitive. For it, not reaching office on time is also a threat to its survival. Somebody perceiving us as incompetent or not giving us enough importance is also a tiger lurking in the bushes. No wonder then that we practice our survival strategies at every given moment in our subconscious and end up feeling tired and exhausted and unhappy. So, what do? Identify the threat and figure out if it is real. Identify our stress coping and figure out if it is effective. And finally, find an alternative coping strategy. In our next episode, let's look at these stress management strategies more closely. Till then, like, subscribe, share, and wait for me in the next episode of Manasthali, where mind meets matter.